Hello and welcome to Sound Librarian. I'm Stefan Schutz. I'm going to be honest here. I didn't actually want to do a review of Uncharted 3. It's not because I don't think Uncharted 3 is a good game. It is a good game. It's an excellent game. But I really wanted to do the review analysis of Uncharted 2. The problem is that we've lent our copy to somebody and I've no idea where it's gone. So we have Uncharted 3, so that's what we're doing. Now it's funny, often you'd think from a technical point of view and a narrative point of view, a lot of games actually develop with each iteration. For me, I really felt that at the time that Uncharted 2 came out, it totally redefined the bar for audio production. It had done a lot of things that hadn't been done before and it did them much, much better. Uncharted 3 didn't have quite the same leap. It's still very, very solid, but it didn't have the leaping quality from previous titles that Uncharted 2 did. So I will probably talk about some of those aspects within this analysis of Uncharted 3 because they're still relevant. There's a lot of things to talk about. Very, very well produced game. Let's get into it. I want to reiterate what I said in the introduction. Whilst in an analysis like this, I am often critical of certain aspects of a game and its production, the criticism is not downplaying the quality of production or the quality of the game in general. All of the Uncharted games, and in fact pretty much everything that Naughty Dog does, is created to an extremely high standard.
Hands up. Enjoying yourself, pal?
Oh yeah, you're a comedian.
Now, often I would skip an opening introductory movie such as this one. With the Naughty Dog games, I actually think it's really, really important to include these because all of their games are very, very narrative focused. And there's aspects about a scripted event such as this that are so important. It's all about the performance and the way in which they are telling the story. One of the things that Naughty Dog started doing a while back was capturing their voice acting at the same time that they were capturing their motion capture. So all of this animation here is captured via motion capture, and the actors have got headsets on, so the dialogue is being recorded with these actions. Now, in some ways, this might sound like a really, really simple idea, but it's actually one of the reasons why the whole feel of these games is just very, very realistic. Because you're getting the actions not just synced in with the voice. That is one of the main parts of this. But it's the fact that the actors are not sitting in a recording studio booth out of context of everything, trying to get their lines across. And this gives a much, much stronger performance. And I think that's probably one of the strongest characteristics of all the Naughty Dog products, is that their storytelling is so much stronger because the lines and the acting and the characters that you see are just so much more believable.
Come on, Nate, let's get the hell out of here.
You're not really in a position to negotiate. Now give me the ring, take the case, and walk out of here like gentlemen. While you still can.
So this whole sequence here, setting up, good guy, bad guy, what's happening, etc., really, really establishes the level at which this story is going to be presented. And now already, we're practically into the game already here. And the transition from this sequence into the game basically caught me off guard.
You got this one's
So you're now basically in the game. It doesn't look any different. It's just that you're now controlling what's going on. So, and it's a blend here. It's a blend of animated sequences from your control with scripted events. It's a really, really lovely way of getting the player into the action. In this case, it's a tutorial as well. There are still scripted events of you being slammed into a wall or whatever. So it's a blend in and out, backwards and forwards between events that are fully scripted to events that you control somewhat. And then the game slowly gives you more and more control as it's teaching you how to play. Now, from a sound point of view, one of the most important things through here is that basically the sound effects are dialogue grunts and groans and lots of punches and impact sounds. But very importantly, there's no repetitive, the same punch sound over and over and over again.
Bad idea, Granddad. Get him! Here, you spilled my drink!
The other thing I have to say is that this game really does such a good job of all the lines of dialogue, and the directing for the lines of dialogue really feel like the actors know what's going on. They know the situation, so when they make throwaway lines in the middle of a fight, it actually sounds like somebody who's in a fight.
Join in. Be my guest.
Even that one, be my guest. It was said, short of breath, he's putting effort into it. There are far too many games that I've played where supposedly the character is in the middle of some really, really terrible situation. They're being eaten by a dragon or whatever. And the line of dialogue literally sounds like it's been recorded by an actor in a soundproof booth in a studio somewhere.
Okay, ready for more.
See, almost this entire scene is just the vocalizations of the guys. But it feels really quite visceral. Now, flashbacks to earlier stages in the life of characters is certainly not a new thing. It's quite a nice way of giving you a bit of backstory. Also, it's a very, very good way of starting the game in a more simplistic way. In this particular case, if we've got a teenage kid, we can dispense with a giant arsenal of weapons and all the sorts of skills that he might have when he gets older. So from that point of view, it's actually a really, really quite nice way to develop it.
All right. Here we go.
So we have generally a low-key environment. Visually, it's fairly static. The music is fairly ambient in nature. This is our exploring sort of setup.
Oh, no, that's not it either.
Notice how much it adds just having the other voices of the other visitors in the scene.
That's not it.
Also a good place to start to introduce some of our musical themes, as they're doing here. So if this is the first game you've ever played, you're being introduced to some of the main themes coming in and out. Although the music's fairly subtle, we're still being introduced to this thematic material.
Huh. No, No, that's not it either.
One of the other things I like about Naughty Dog games is that they are not afraid of not quite silence, but very near silence. This whole scene here is actually really, really pretty quiet. And there's so many computer games that could benefit from having a little bit of quiet every now and again.
Te agarré, ratita callejera. ¡Suélteme! Su clase de gente no es bienvenida aquí. ¡Quédate afuera!
Pendejo! Oh, there he is.
I also have to say, I like games that will deal with other languages. Can we please
Gotta keep up with him.
acknowledge the fact that there are far more languages spoken in the world than just English? And I didn't need to know exactly what that guard was saying. It was very, very obvious. I don't speak the language that was spoken. I don't need to speak the language that was spoken, but I find it really, really arrogant that so many games assume that everything must be in English at all times. That was such a tiny little unimportant thing of knocking that tub of fruit. And yet it was a very, very realistic sound with a lot of little details in it. This is really the difference between a production company that care about what they do and a production company that's just spitting out games. You know, spitting out games because they think games is a way of making them lots of money.
It was rotten anyway.
The Uncharted series are a series of games that have been crafted. Every aspect of them has been crafted. So the entire Uncharted franchise has been a well-produced series of games. And frankly, this company just produces outstanding games. That's what they do. And they're one of the few companies where I would walk up and buy one of their games off the shelf not knowing anything about it because I'm confident in the quality of what I'm getting. Hope this has been enjoyable for you, and thank you for watching.